The British people are crying out for real, authentic leadership. Former Conservative Home Secretary Suella Braverman defects to Reform UK and delivers a powerful speech exposing the failures holding our nation back. We also unpack the timeless principles of vision and courage that true leaders must have in order to lead effectively. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
Whilst the Conservative Party have been busy today, very, very busy with Andy Street and others attempting to move to the centre ground, to become more liberal than the Liberal Democrats, we've been busy on a different mission. And our mission is to unite the centre-right of British politics. And you've been watching that process being unveiled before your eyes over the course of the last few weeks. And today is another very significant step in that direction. Worth reminding people that Robert Jenrick on Con Home was by far the most popular frontbencher in the elected Conservative Party. Well, Suella Braverman is by far the most popular backbencher amongst the Con Home audience, all of which I believe is evidence that the centre-right is finally uniting, as the Conservatives, I'm quite certain, will go in the opposite direction. Their reaction to Suella's defection has been pretty abusive. Don't please ask any questions about that. We will not lower ourselves to their level. I know the other big story of the day, of course, is that Annie Burnham has been denied the opportunity to run in the Manchester by-election, which again I think sends quite a big message that on the day the Prime Minister has rejected putting talent onto his front bench, we in Reform are more than willing to accept talent. And I believe that's what we have done today. Suella Braverman has been very principled and very clear in what she believes in over many, many years. She was the first senior elected Conservative to say that the ECHR was incompatible with British law and putting the rights of British people first. And I believe she's going to be a terrific addition to our rapidly growing team. So without further ado, I'll welcome Suella Braverman to the stage. They're a bit less noisy than earlier.
They are. Thank you, Nigel. Very, very kind of you. Very good to see all of you this afternoon. As I said this morning, this feels like coming home. And I am incredibly grateful for the welcome, the support, and the fact that I am finally part of a mission that I can believe in. Because the truth is, for the first time in years, I now feel that I can truly believe in something. And the truth is, as I said to our veterans on earlier this morning, our country is broken and only Reform UK can fix it. That is why I've left the Conservatives and I have joined Reform today. Now, I've not taken this decision lightly. I very much understand why there will be some people, particularly in Fareham Waterlooville Conservatives, who have supported me over the years, who will be feeling disappointed and upset. And I want to say to them that this is not about you. To those local supporters who have confided in me about their frustrations with the Conservative Party, but who have only stayed put because of me, please join me. Come and join Reform UK. If you believe in saving Britain, strong borders, a strong economy and a strong defence. And to those who still believe that we should remain loyal to a party that has betrayed them and the country countless times, please listen to why I say that enough is enough. It's time to put country first. Because we are in the fight of our lives to save Britain. And only Reform UK can do it. Our country is in deep peril. Families are struggling to keep bills under control. Businesses are being crippled. Immigration is off the scale. Taxes are at an all-time high. And yet services are at an all-time low. People don't feel safe anymore in their cities and towns. Our borders are broken. And our country stands humiliated and weakened around the world. People are crying out for real change, or they're leaving the country. So we have a choice: more of the same failed consensus or radical brave leadership. And I choose the latter. And the only party that offers us that, with the solutions for the country and most importantly, credibility, is Reform UK. I've had enough of Conservative betrayal. I've had enough of Conservative denial. I've had enough of the political chameleons who populate the Conservative Party. Enough of Conservative delusion. They are a party now that is too weak to save themselves, let alone the country. Now, I understand that being in a political party requires compromise and pragmatism. It also requires loyalty. But loyalty is a two-way street. If the party you joined no longer reflects the values and principles that it once did, you should question your allegiance. If the party keeps breaking its promises, you should question your loyalty. And now, too many promises lie in tatters. Too much damage has been done. And I no longer trust the Conservative Party. Let's look at the list of broken promises. The party promised time and again to cut immigration. It failed. But that failure was not just incompetence, it was deliberate. As Home Secretary, I tried so many times to cut the number of visas, only to be ignored by the Prime Minister, blocked by the Chancellor, and attacked by other Conservative cabinet colleagues. As a result, the numbers soared and only started to come down after I managed to secure the first set of changes in May 2023. Too little, too late. Despite that great betrayal, I remained loyal. The party promised to do whatever it takes to stop the boats. As Home Secretary, I tried so many times. Lee and Andrew, you will know the frustration that we had in the Conservative Party. I tried so many times to persuade the Prime Minister that we needed to leave the ECHR. I was the first Conservative minister to call for us to leave the ECHR because I saw how it undermined our national sovereignty and our border security. What happened? Conservative colleagues attacked me and the Prime Minister blocked me. Only one other currently sitting Tory MP and myself rebelled on the Rwanda bill because of the ECHR. As a result, the boats kept coming. Now, yes, the Conservative Party has adopted my policy 3 years later. But even now, look closely. It's half-hearted, cautious. Half of the Conservative MPs are dead against it. And even the leader herself didn't support the policy until a few months ago. When it really mattered, when we had the majority, when we had the chance to do something about it, she sided with the Remainers and she opposed me. She had to wait for Lord Wolfson to give her permission to change her mind before she caved and copied reform. That's not leadership. That's fear, insecurity and weakness. And yet, despite another great betrayal, I remained loyal. The party promised to tackle Islamist extremism. But as Home Secretary, I told the Prime Minister that we needed to ban the hate marches, that the Met Commissioner was failing the Jewish community, and that two-tier policing was damaging public confidence. I warned him that someone was going to be killed. I was blocked and ignored, and then I was sacked for telling the truth. What happened 2 years later? Members of the Jewish community murdered on the streets of Britain. The Conservative Party should be disgusted with itself, frankly. They were murdered because of out-of-control anti-Semitism and complacent policing. At the time, not one of my Conservative ministerial colleagues backed me up when it mattered. Now they all rush to pontificate about two-tier policing and out-of-control extremism. Another great betrayal, and yet I stayed loyal. The party promised to tackle grooming gangs, but as Home Secretary, when I spoke out about the problem, saying that multiculturalism had failed, I was vilified and called Islamophobic by my own Conservative Party colleagues. Another great betrayal, and yet I stayed loyal. The party promised to stop trans in schools, something that I know Sarah has been campaigning vociferously on. But as Home Secretary, when I said that we needed to scrap the Equality Act and ban absolutely social transitioning in schools, Conservative colleagues blocked me and criticised me. The result? We still have young people socially transitioning in schools. Another great betrayal. You get the picture. The question really is, why did I stay around for so long? Because at every junction, when it really mattered, when the party had to do the right thing, when it had the power, those in charge chose to do the wrong thing. They chose the weak option. And many of those same people lead the party today. And yet I still stayed loyal. And when I diagnosed all of these problems after the last general election, the leader herself said I was having a nervous breakdown, something she seems to have repeated again today. As Nigel said, those attacks say more about them than they do about me. So for some years now, I think you can see that I have been out of step with the Conservative Party. And in truth, I have felt politically homeless for the best part of 2 years. I've been ashamed of the Conservative Party. It is why I spent the 2024 general election campaign apologising to local voters for my party's record and asking them to vote for me in spite of my party allegiance, not because of it. It's why I was the first Conservative MP re-elected that night to apologise directly to the nation for my party's failings. It is impossible to defend the party's record in office or to even believe in its policy for the future. The people, the instincts and the factions are all the same. But now is also the time to acknowledge a deeper truth about what is happening in the Conservative Party, much more important than any personal attacks or friction. Conflict and debate is normal in politics, and the battle between right and left has been there for decades within the Conservative Party. The Wets and the Thatcherites, the Remainers and the Leavers, the ERG, which I used to chair, or the One Nation. That is politics. No party is perfect. And the party I joined in the 1990s was about low taxes, Euroscepticism, law and order, tradition and patriotism. But less than a year after becoming a Tory MP in 2015, I found myself rebelling against David Cameron to support Brexit. Incidentally, almost exactly a decade ago, I sat down with the Prime Minister and I had to tell him, I'm afraid I can't support your Brexit deal. I had to put country above party. I thought my rebellion then would be a one-off. But it wasn't. To my horror, Theresa May then messed up Brexit. I had to resign from ministerial office. I rebelled not just once, but 3 times. With Andrew, a fellow Spartan, over her Brexit betrayal deal. There were 28 of us who held out. 28 of us believed in our nation's sovereignty, that it was obvious what we needed to do, put country before party. Later, I thought the Eurosceptic right of the party had won, after Boris became Prime Minister and Brexit was delivered in 2020. But you know what? I was wrong. Brexit was actually a facade for what turned out to be a largely Lib Dem, socialist-light agenda. Because after 2020, what did we see? Out-of-control immigration, Northern Ireland siphoned off, EU rules still applying in the UK, the highest tax burden in 70 years, a bigger welfare state, weak borders, and woke ideology taking over our institutions. Where had the Brexit that we had all fought for, including this man, where had it gone? So what followed Brexit was my rather lonely attempts to cut immigration, leave the ECHR, tackle Islamism, and boot out failing police chiefs. On none of those questions was the party with me, and I stood alone. So, the time has come to admit defeat. I'm on the right, proudly on the right of British politics, but the right has lost the battle for the Conservative Party. I tried with all my might. I took a few for the team. But the One Nation Wets have won the Conservative Party. The centrists control it, they populate it, and they are welcome to it. The truth is that in recent years, I have found myself effectively in a social democrat, left-leaning party made up of conservatives in name only, Chino. No wonder I have felt politically homeless for years. So I've come to the irresistible conclusion that the Conservative Party is not a Conservative Party. It is very good at performative conservatism, but we all know the truth. When the cameras are off, when the doors are shut, when they're all sat round the table making the big decisions for the nation, the Conservatives will cave. I've tried to balance the need for compromise with my own political views, but this is now impossible. The betrayal is too frequent, and my loyalty has been abused. So it is time. I've been patient. I have waited to see if the party would change, but the truth is clear. It has not and it will not.
It's time for Britain's leaders to put our country first. For decades, British taxpayers have been treated like slaves, overtaxed while receiving little or nothing in return for their hard work, while illegal immigrants are often treated better than them. People who can work but choose not to get to stay home, do nothing and collect benefits at the end of the month. Taxpayers' money is handed out as foreign aid, while our veterans and other homeless people sleep on the streets in a first world Britain. The main reason this happens is that Britain is not in control of itself. It is controlled by laws and rules set by unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats who live elsewhere. We need leaders who believe Britain should govern itself. Leaders and parties who respect our country's sovereignty and its foundational values and principles. We should be able to trust a party and its leaders to deliver exactly what they promise for the country and its people. They should not be complacent, insecure, or weak. They must have the strength and capacity to shoulder the responsibilities of the nation and make it grow stronger in every area of society. We need leaders with a bold vision, dedicated to making this nation stronger by harnessing its greatest potential and resources. Leaders who can withstand pressures and challenges from opponents, who seek only power, not the country's greatness. Vision gives clear direction and ignites purpose and direction in the nation, while courage provides the relentless drive to push through every obstacle. Without vision, courage drifts aimlessly. Without courage, what is claimed to be vision is only empty words. The smears and harsh criticisms should only cause you to double down, knowing your faith and vision for a better, more prosperous nation are within reach. Britain needs leaders with a bold, transformative vision for a sovereign and prosperous nation, backed by unbreakable courage to fight for it no matter the cost or the criticism. If you carry that vision and the resolve to stand strong in the midst of political persecution and pressure, step up now. The nation is waiting for leaders like you who will actually deliver vision backed by courage. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.